We live, baby.
All right. Welcome back to episode 102 of Third String Commentators with Alex and Shane. I am not Alex, and he is not Shane. So Alex is currently on location at his beach house, so fuck him for that because I'm still stuck in Nashville. It's a nice little lazy Sunday coming back from a nice little heavy – God damn, that's beautiful. But we're coming back from a couple of days of drinking, a couple of days of doing nothing but watching TV and watching sports. Luckily, the world's not killing itself outside like it was last week, so we've got that going for us. Alex, any first thoughts?
Nope.
They don't call him the best man in the commentating game for nothing. All right, so we're going to start off today with talking a little football, a little fantasy football too. I think we are. Well, everyone's played at least 2 preseason games, so we're about 2.5 weeks out from the start of the NFL season. If you have not gotten your league started yet, probably a good thing to start doing that. Schedule those drafts, get those wings going, get some pizza. Yeah. So, Alex, who is your Super Bowl prediction this year?
Call me biased, but I really do believe the Falcons are going to get back to the Super Bowl. I think their offense might take a step back from the historical levels that it was at last year, but their defense certainly improved. Drafting Tack McKinley was a great pick for them. Their defense, the core of their defense is very young. They're only going to get better. Keanu O'Neal, Deion Jones. One of the Arthur Blank, I think, said yesterday they're the fastest defense in the NFL, and I think he's correct on that.
Yeah, because why would the owner say that he has the slowest defense on earth?
True, but I think they're gonna open Mercedes-Benz Stadium with a bang and be back in the Super Bowl. I don't really see any team. Honestly, I don't see any team in the NFC that's at their level right now. I think maybe Green Bay can make a run. I guess Seattle's always in the mix, but I think Tampa is going to take a huge step forward this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the Falcons out of the NFC, and then AFC. How can you bet against the Patriots? I mean, if you're asking me to pick between undefeated season or anything else, I think I would pick the undefeated season for the Patriots. That's how good of a team they are. And somehow Tom Brady is still the best quarterback at the age of 40. One of these days he's going to hit a wall and it's all going to go downhill. But right now he's clearly still the best quarterback in the NFL and never going to bet against Bill and Tom. So I'm going to say Super Bowl rematch, as rare as that is.
Yeah, and I think for that reason alone, the Falcons are not going to do anything this year. History says it's hard enough for even the Super Bowl winner to get back to the Super Bowl the next year, let alone the loser in devastating fashion. You have to admit that is basically being in a marathon, breaking your ankle, and then like losing to some 44-year-old fat woman from
Thanks.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Thanks for the reminder. Got it.
Yeah, I mean 28-3 is so for that fact alone, I don't think they're going to do nearly as well as people think they're going to. That being said, I don't think any other team in the NFC has really distanced themselves, and for that fact, I'm going to put my faith in the best quarterback in the game. Tom Brady is close, but I still think that it's definitely Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to say the Packers. Adding Martellus Bennett is a massive upgrade for them at tight end.
But Aaron
Rodgers Ty Montgomery, I think. Huh?
Aaron Rodgers never uses his tight ends.
Huh?
Aaron Rodgers never throws.
Well, yeah, you said that he never uses tight ends, but he's never had one. He's never really had any good ones.
He was a great tight end. He just didn't use them.
Jermichael, no. But you've got him. You got McCarthy, who was a Super Bowl winning coach. not a very good coach, but he has won one before. So if he was ever up 28-3 in the Super Bowl, pretty sure he wouldn't fuck it up like old Quinny Boy did.
Yeah, and their running back is a converted wide receiver. Good luck with that holding up.
Yeah, but this is his first full year as a running back. So he's got another year, and just look how good he did when he was still a wide receiver acting as a running back. Defense is looking good, I think, for them. So we'll see how that goes. I do agree with you, though. I think that Tampa Bay is going to be pretty good. Jameis, and then adding Deshaun Jackson, their defense is pretty solid. Looks to led by Robert Quinn, I think it is, like that defensive end for them. You can find out more about the Bucs by check out Hard Knocks on HBO Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Central Time.
Shout out to
that's a little advertising plug. So give us money. We'll shout you guys out. In the AFC, I am going to deviate from you guys again, mostly because I just want to argue with you.
Are you still drunk?
But my pick is going to be Oakland. I'm going to say Derek Carr does not break his ankle or break his leg again, and him and Khalil Mack take Oakland to the Super Bowl, adding Marshawn Lynch after giving him a full year of rest or retirement. I think they're going to be pretty good. Their defense is usually always pretty solid, and I think their coach is Jack Del Rio. Solid coach. He's got a good pedigree. I think he won the Super Bowl when Denver won because I think he was their defensive coordinator that year. But to me, they just look like a solid team, and I'm all in. Amari Cooper, hell yeah. Michael Crabtree, oh yeah. That offense is stacked, and they have one of the better offensive lines. My dark horse, not to go to the Super Bowl, but for them to be making a huge step forward, Tennessee Titans. They went 8-8 last year. They've got one of the best, probably the second best offensive line in the NFL next to Dallas. But you've got Taylor Lewan, who's an all-pro, I think, or he's like one of the best left tackles in the game. Then you got Jack Conklin, who was the top-rated right tackle in the game last year. Solid that. They've got DeMarco and Derrick Henry in the backfield. Defense is going to be spotty, but their second first-round draft pick this year, Adoree Jackson, him. He's a cornerback from USC, looking solid, really, really good. I think he took a punt return to the house last game in the preseason, so it'll be fun living here, watching them do well. Because if I learned anything from when the Preds did really well and went to the Stanley Cup final, Nashville loves it when their teams are winning. So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Derrick Henry overtakes DeMarco Murray for the starting running back job, though. I hope he does.
He definitely won't until DeMarco has a DeMarco-esque year where, like, last year he was the second leading rusher in the NFL, and then this year if he puts up 700 yards, yeah, Derrick Henry will be in there pretty damn quick. I know he was not very well liked in the beginning of this year because he didn't come right away to camp, and some of the vets were not happy with that. But you run well, you make some yards, you'll get your time. So now going to fantasy football, we have not really a Matthew Berry-esque guru here, but Alex has won his little kiddie league, as he was telling me earlier, 6 out of the 7 years. So as you can hear the plane going by at the shore. Yeah, like I was saying, Alex has won 6 of the past 7 years of his league. So, Alex, what tips do you have for us?
What tips do I have? Let's see. Definitely wait on quarterback. I mean, people say this every year, but it's always true. wait on quarterback. No need to take a quarterback in the first 5 or 6 rounds when you can get Jameis Winston in like the 8th or 9th round, Marcus Mariota in the 10th round. I think both of them are going to have huge years. You mentioned Marshawn Lynch. I think Marshawn Lynch is a big sleeper. He's kind of fallen down to the 6th or 7th round because he's took a year off and new team. And obviously an older running back. I think he's like 32 now. But their offensive line is awesome. He's playing in his hometown. He's motivated. He's on a good team. He's going to get the bulk of the work out of the backfield there. I'd be shocked if he plays all 16 games. I'd be shocked if he has less than 10 touchdowns and 1,000 yards. And then let's see. I don't know. Some of the other sleepers that come to mind. I like Corey Coleman in Cleveland a lot. Joe Mixon, as terrible of a person as he is, I think he's going to be a stud. Jeremy Hill stinks.
Is Mixon your first rookie off the board?
He absolutely stinks. Gio Bernard.
Who?
Not.
Giovanni Bernard.
Gio Bernard is just a third down guy out of the backfield. But I think by week 4, Joe Mixon will be the starter and getting most of the carries.
Is Mixon your first running back off the board?
Oh, hell no. Hell. The top 5 picks are pretty set in stone. The order can change, but it's Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham.
No. Your first rookie off the board. Yeah. So where would you stack Mixon up in comparison to Fournette, McCaffrey, other rookies that are
it's so tough between Mixon, McCaffrey, and Fournette. I like all of them, honestly. McCaffrey, I like McCaffrey the best in a PPR. In the standard league, I probably like Fournette the best.
Okay.
I mean, it's so hard to tell, but you can't go wrong with any of them. Rookie running backs usually do well their first couple of years in the league just because they haven't taken the pounding that NFL running backs have for years.
Now, what exactly does PPR stand for?
Point per reception. So you
what
get
does that mean?
Every time they get a catch. In a standard league, you don't get points for catches, just yards and touchdowns.
Okay. So in the PPR leagues, if they have a catch for 10 yards, they get 2 points?
Yep. Even if they have a catch for
one for the catch, 1 for the 10 yards?
Even if they have a catch for 1 yard, they get a point for the catch.
Right. But if it was like a 10-yard reception, they get 2 points. Okay.
So, yeah, I think McCaffrey's going to catch probably 60, 70 balls this year.
Yeah. I can see him doing pretty well. The one that I've heard a whole lot of buzz about is two. They're both tight ends. One, Evan Ingram. I think he went to the Giants, and then whomever the Bucks took actually. Right. I've heard a lot of good stuff about OJ Howard. A friend of mine at work is actually a Bucks fan, and that's why he will tell me all this stuff that he reads from like the sports writers out there. And he said that Connor Brait, who's I guess the incumbent starting tight end for them, led all tight ends in receiving touchdowns. But then OJ Howard's going to come in and kind of open everything else up. So he might not have a ton of touchdowns because if Brait gets his share, I mean, you can only throw so many touchdowns because you've got Jameis as your quarterback still. But looks to be pretty good. I'm a big tight end guy. I like a nice tight end.
That's because you look like a tight end.
The tighter, the better.
And also one guy that people sleep on because he's not a sexy pick is Pierre Garçon, but reunited with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. He's clearly
who the fuck is going to throw to him?
I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be you or me throwing to him. He's the only guy to throw to. And I believe in Kyle Shanahan enough to get creative with that offense. Garçon's going to have a nice year in San Francisco.
Well, we differ on that. I usually like to take people that have like established or at least 2 threats. I don't want to take I won't take anyone from the Jets unless it's Matt Forte because I've taken Forte in a league this year.
Do not take
because they've got no one.
Over Bilal Powell,
they have to run.
Get out of here.
Yep.
The Jets are going to
go. This is also like
0-16.
All right. Well, okay. So assuming they do go 0-16, who goes number one overall? Assuming they both have healthy years and comparable stats. Do you take Sam Darnold from USC, or do you take Josh Rosen from UCLA, or do you go with the dark horse of that cat from Montana?
I prefer Sam Darnold. I think I haven't seen that much of him, but what I saw of him towards the end of last year, he can make every throw on the field. The throw he made in the Rose Bowl against Penn State, right? That throw he made with the safeties at the top was unbelievable. He's got great size. He's still very young. I like Sam Darnold.
Yeah. So I think who are going to be the worst in the league this year in the NFL? So you've got probably Jets, the Niners, the Jets, and who?
The Jaguars. Blake Bortles stinks. And I know you used to be a Blake Bortles fan. Admit it.
Never.
Bullshit.
Never was a Blake Bortles fan.
Coming out of college. You motherfucker don't.
So you got those three. And assuming, let's say Jets are worst. By the way, the Browns have to be so fucking happy this year. They're like, look, we're a shitty team, but we're at least like the fourth shittiest team this year.
Yeah.
At least on paper. Who knows if they'll find a way to fuck that up too. But assuming it goes Jets, Niners, Jags. If I'm the Jets, I somehow try to drum up enough interest with the Jags, say they're swap firsts and give me a first next year. Because my number one of those three is give me the cat from Montana. It might be because I am an Eagles fan as well, and I like Carson Wentz, but I also just think that people that come from these low-tier colleges are really given a better opportunity to be students of the game. And to me, it kind of goes towards the Khalil Mack versus Jadeveon Clowney type thing. With Clowney being one of the highest touted recruits of all time. Going into college, did really well. Freshman and sophomore was one of the best years I've ever seen for anyone. And then his junior year, people were saying he was kind of dogging it a little bit or just getting doubled out all the time. I don't know if he really developed his game the way that someone like Khalil Mack did at Buffalo. Matt came in with no hype as a 2-star recruit. He was able to kind of hone in his skills, did swim moves, kind of learned how to be a defensive end, outside linebacker, hybrid type, learn the moves, didn't have to rely or couldn't rely solely on one thing or the other, which is why when he went to the NFL, he had a bit of a more immediate impact. Making an all-pro team at two positions is making the all-pro team at one position is hard enough, let alone being told you're the best at two positions. Shit. So that's kind of why I tend to like my lower tier team. So Montana. Now you can come back and say, what about goddamn plane? It's paparazzi trying to catch us.
That's our podcast sponsor, Budweiser, flying overhead.
Budweiser, drink to greatness. But going back, so what you could say is you could look at that guy Eric Fisher, the guy from Central Michigan, went number 1 overall to the Chiefs, shit the bed. He's probably not even a backup left tackle. So you've got a whole bunch of different things, but give me him. Plus he's 6'5", 230 or so, which in this league, that'll make him like a Big Ben type, and Big Ben's usually been pretty solid, and everyone thinks of him as one of the better quarterbacks. So I'll take him, but we'll see.
Okay, now that Tim has talked himself around in a circle, what do we got next, big guy?
All right, next. I had this thought at work the other day, and I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on it. You've got team sports and you've got individual sports. So I was thinking, what's more impressive? Like if you're at a bar trying to mac on some young, hot little thing, and you come up and you say, hey, I won a Super Bowl. Well, I was one of 52 others that won a Super Bowl. Well, I was one of 52 other players plus 20 coaches plus nutritionists and all this other stuff to win a Super Bowl or World Series or NBA championship or pick a fucking sport. Or you roll up to the lady and be like, hey, look, 2 people, me and my coach, we won Wimbledon. Get to sucking. Or something like that. I who knows what the game like is on a tennis player. But kind of going back to the question, what's more impressive? Winning an individual sport, so golf or tennis or something, swimming maybe, winning the top prize you can there, or being on a team sport and winning the top thing with that league. So like I was saying before, Stanley Cup, World Cup, Super Bowl, NBA championship, that stuff. Alex, what do you think?
This is an easy answer for me. I got to go individual sport, especially considering, as you referenced, going to a bar and talking to a girl. If you win an individual sport, you actually have the trophy in your possession at all times. If you could roll up to a girl's house, you got your fucking big-ass Wimbledon trophy buckled in the front seat. She opens the front door. You're like, oh, sorry, you got to sit in the back. My trophy sits in the front. That's just a fun And then also you do, throughout the night, can drink out of the trophy, or if it's like something like a claret jug or whatever. Take pictures with the trophy, whatever. You're definitely more of a boss if you win an individual sport. And I feel like it's harder because you're on your own, like you said. It's just you and your coach. There's no one. You're not like, if you don't play well, it's not like you're still on the team. You just don't start or something like that. Like if you don't play well, your career is over. You can play your way out of your career pretty quickly if you don't put in the work and put in the time. And it's really just you're policing yourself. So it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of internal motivation to win an individual sport.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm going to say winning the team sport championship's a little bit more impressive because kind of the exact opposite of what you were saying. Yeah, in the individual sports, you're kind of responsible for your own actions, and depending on how you play, that kind of determines the result. Say you're a hockey player and you're the second line center. All of a sudden, your fourth line center hacks someone on a breakaway. They get a penalty shot. They score. You lose. Nothing you can do about it.
That's true.
There's no way that you would ever have been able to impact the outcome of the game in that sense. I mean, obviously, you can keep doing well or like just be the best player that you can be. But in terms of it being impressive, that meant that your entire team for 28 possible games in the Stanley Cup Finals, you guys were the absolute best and just were able to kind of come together and do all that. Whereas in Wimbledon or whatever, you've got 100 or so players playing, and I don't know how much the actual field is. It might be 64 team or players, but as much as you are responsible for your outcomes, your opponent also is responsible for their outcomes as well. So, say it starts raining and your opponent has a shit game in the rain, you might be able to win easily that way or something like that. But now, don't get me wrong, winning anything is impressive.
This segment brought to you by Corona.
Isn't their slogan "Find Your Beach"?
I think it is.
I think it is. My ex just texted me. Wonderful. So yeah, I still think that winning the team sport is a bit more impressive. Now you might not have a cup that you can put a seatbelt on, but you'll have a ring. that you can definitely rub in everyone's face for the rest of your life. So, yeah. You're wrong, I'm right.
Let's just say winning, whether it's individual or a team sport, I think would help anyone's chances of picking up a girl.
Being a professional athlete in general, being an athlete in general, help your chances. Being us, not so much.
Which segues perfectly into our next topic, which is the biggest lie or the most common lie you tell in your life. And I know Shane's has something to do with being a professional athlete.
I wouldn't say professional athlete. Recently, me and my roommates went to this bar, and I was wearing my Nebraska hat. I like Nebraska because my dad's from there, and I have a lot of family that's gone to that school. I've never been. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I like it. So we're at the bar, and these two girls come up, and they're like, "Did you go to Nebraska?" Look at my roommates. Look at them. Yeah, of course. I actually played football for them. And they're like, "Oh, no way. We went there for grad school." And they're both like doctors now. They're one doctors as in like they had their PhDs. One had like their PhD in like biochem and was a chemist for Vanderbilt. Another one had something. I didn't really listen to them at all. But I kept telling them that I was the scout team punter on Nebraska because one, the scout team punter, not exactly sure if that's an actual position because you might just use your punter at all time. But if you are the scout team punter, you still get the same kind of swag. You get all the practice gear, you get the t-shirts, the shoes. You may even get to suit up once if you like sabotage the actual punter and slice his Achilles. But you're also don't need to be in shape like me. You don't need to exactly be athletic. And I've got big enough legs and where I could be like, yeah, these are kicker's legs. So it works out. And for the rest of that night, I kind of came out or kept that up. And yeah, it was pretty fun. I was pretty happy with it. And probably not the best thing for me. No. So
gotta go bigger than
it was a fun lie for me, not the best lie for them. Although that night I did get some girl's number.
All right, you got to go bigger than scout team punter. That's all that means. You got to go starting punter.
The starting punter.
These bitches don't know.
If I do that, I'll do like starting punter of a D2 school.
You could even go D1. You think any bitch is gonna know the face of a punter?
True. There's only really like 3 punters that are even worth knowing, and that's Johnny Hecker, the black guy, and Pat McAfee.
Hey! Put some respect on his name, Marquette King. He's not a black guy. Marquette King, baby.
I like Marquette King a lot. I saw him dancing today because I guess they relaxed the celebration rule in the NFL. I was really happy about that because I like him. He's really good, and he was on. He was on one of the Barstool podcasts. Really, really cool guy. Yeah. So how about you? What's your biggest, most sustainable, or favorite line?
Well, going along the lines of what you said, I've definitely told girls at the bars down here that I'm Jordan Spieth.
What?
Because that's a perfect one to use because he's a big enough name that a girl who doesn't watch sports has at least heard because he wins. So they've definitely heard the name Jordan Spieth, but they don't know what he looks like. And I could easily
I can't picture him, especially after a couple of Cosmos.
Okay. I'll be going.
Who's that, Alex?
My mom.
Huh?
It's my mom. She said she's
your mom
to the beach, as if I care.
Tell your mom to say hi. Hi, Sue.
Wait. But my favorite lie is probably, and I've used this so many times, also at the bars down here. I just lie all the time at the bars down here, apparently. I've lied about this house being my house, like I own the fucking house. My house. with an elevator, a hot tub, 3 floors, beautiful view, and it's mine.
Hey, let's talk about your house for a second. Is it 3 or do they consider it 4 floors because of the garage?
Well, I guess it's 4 if you count the garage, but either way, I've told many
In this case, Alex, size does matter.
Ocean Drive girls have been told that this house is mine when I'm down here alone, obviously.
Yeah, let's also talk about the Ocean Drive. So, I've known you your entire life, minus 4 weeks, I think. And we've been going to the shore together for 17, 18 years, probably. Because I think we went. So, to all of our listeners, none of you, my mom used to babysit Alex when his mom was at work. So that's why I knew him from such an early age. And your mom was also my pediatrician. So we started going to the beach, I think, when you were maybe 3 or 4 ish, maybe a little older. But so we've been going to the shore since way before we could drink. Now, my parents are not drinkers. They would never let me drink under 21. Even as a 26-year-old, they still don't really let me drink. So that's a whole other story. But one of the things that you and I used to do when I was in college and came back, I had a fake ID. And you were, whatever, a sophomore, I think, sophomore, junior. We used to get bottles of vodka, like vanilla Smirnoff vodka, I think it was, and we put them in little Coke bottles. And you and I would walk from the house down to like basically the center of town and then back. And there was only one time we ever like talked to someone. And do you remember that? Do you remember what that was?
No, but I do remember getting those buffalo chicken rolls at 7-Eleven at 3 in the morning.
Yo, those were dope. But I remember this because the girl was talking to me, and she was super hot, and she was a little older, like probably mid-20s. And I was like, oh, she's talking to me. And we were walking there, and like her and her friends were drinking outside on the patio of the house. And she like said something to us because we were just walking on the sidewalk, and we're like, what? Like, are you going out? Like, yeah, we're going to the Irish place. And she's like, fuck that, go to the OD. So we're like, okay. But you as a 16-year-old and me as a 19-year-old, we're like, we can't get in. So fast forward to, I really haven't been on the beach that much with you since turning 21.
That's what happens when you move to Nashville.
Since you turning 21. Yeah.
Gotta move back
so the few times that we have gone out together, twice on New Year's and probably one other weekend. No, there was another weekend because we went outside on their like patio where they had all like the sand and like the outside bar. Forget what that was for, but we I just have to say I fucking hate that bar. That bar is a piece of shit fucking cash only bar, and I am just about 85% sure that my old gym teacher, Mr. Schaefer, is a fucking bartender there. That dude was the worst person in the world. He shaves his legs, and I guarantee he's trying to hit on 18-year-old girls. Or guys. Who am I to judge?
Hey, man, when you're at the shore, you have to go to the bars. It's the only way you know the girls are 21.
That's very true, but I just want to say that place should just fucking die, and they should make a new, better one. It's all okay. I'll also preface this with this. Went to college in the South, kind of, in West Virginia. I now live in the South. I haven't been around New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia assholes while drinking almost ever. So then going to the OD, especially on New Year's Eve, surrounded by nothing but people saying coffee and where am I going to get a fucking bagel tomorrow morning? It's like, all right, calm the fuck down. We're going to do biscuits. But it is a whole other animal drinking with these fucking Long Island pigs. So have fun there, Alex.
I will. I will do.
I'll stick to my Southern Belles and passive aggressive guys wearing pastel colors. Any other lies that you like to tell?
No, I think those are the main ones. I mean, I lie all the time. I tell probably hundreds of lies every day for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Just to avoid conflict.
True. Well, we're coming up on towards the end of our time. I'm gonna let Alex get back to living his best life, and by living his best life, I mean
we forgot our music of the week.
I was gonna get to that.
Might be.
So I said we're not at the end. We're coming to the end.
Okay.
We're like a couple pumps away from finishing on the back of every listener. Unless you're drunk, then just stick it in. You might have a kid. We are going to try to close all of our podcasts with something that's pretty important to both of us. I'd say Alex is a huge fan. He's actually pretty good at producing some of it. Myself, I'm more of just a consumer, but just every week with a couple songs or maybe an artist that you guys should listen to per our recommendations. And if you like them, great, keep listening. If you don't, please let us know, and we will try to get some good recommendations going. So, Alex, I'm gonna let you go first. What is your music pick of the week?
Well, it's hard to pick just one, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna go a few weeks back because we didn't do this on the last podcast and catch up on a lot of music. So Bryson Tiller dropped an album probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago now, called True to Self. That is fucking fire. The entire project from start to finish is amazing. So I encourage everyone to check that out. Great lineup of producers on there. Bryson doing his thing. Let's see, just going through my music library here. And then honestly, in heavy rotation for me right now has been Wins and Losses by Meek Mill. That low-key might be the best project of the year so far.
Who is it?
Wins and Losses by Meek. That's the first thing he's released in a while. And
that's Meek Mill for everyone that
everyone
doesn't know.
Everyone knows.
Whatever.
But some of the standouts from there, you got Heavy Heart, 1942 Flows. The joint with Young Thug is fire. So definitely give Wins and Losses a listen. And then the one final thing I'll say is I went to an Amir Obey concert earlier this week, which was incredible. It's kind of a lesser-known rapper, singer, Detroit. Definitely encourage everyone to check him out. The production is amazing, and he just makes music that's perfect for like late night drives. If you like that sort of thing.
Let me also point this out. Alex got a picture with him, and Alex is doing normal pose. He's doing one of these things and is not smiling, but people don't smile in pictures anymore, apparently. The asshole that he's with. Now, I don't mean that derogatory. What's his name? Amir Obey. Amir Obey, who I'm actually going to check out after this. I do want to listen to his music now. But he is like crouching down next to Alex. He has like his hood pulled all the way up, and he's doing like this. Like he's basically just like saying, "Ow, you broke my nose." You can't see his face. How the fuck is he supposed to market himself or have Alex be like, "Hey, check this guy out"? He apparently doesn't have a face. He just has two, and he's just like this.
I'll have to know he did that for everyone.
Right. That's the worst fucking thing to do. The Jabberwockies at least have masks. If he doesn't want to show his face, at least have something that's like iconic. Not, hey, look at the back of my hands.
Yeah, there's an appeal.
Or at least
serious.
What he should do is he has to tattoo his name on the back of his hands so that when you do this, it still says Microsoft Adobe or whatever his name is.
Microsoft Adobe.
Just like this. But your face is like your most marketable, recognizable thing. If you cover your face or in every picture, good luck with that.
The music speaks for itself, boy. But I will say, for anyone who hasn't been to a small venue show, that was my first time being at a truly small venue show. There was only like 50 or 60 people there. Unbelievable experience because, you know, especially when in an artist that's like lesser known and still kind of on the come up, you know that everyone there is a true fan of him, really fucks with his music, has been following him for a while. So that was a really cool experience. Yeah. There couldn't have been more than 60 people there.
And to recap, and also I want to make sure I get this so I can look him up after this. It's Amir Obe, like Amirobe.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So check him out, everyone. My music pick is, and I will completely concur with Alex, the best venues are the small venues where you can still kind of like smell the puke from last week, from the heroin overdose. Living in Nashville, there's basically no opportunity for music. I don't think they play music here. I think it's banned. Kidding. There's a venue called The Basement and the Basement East. And the Basement East is over in East Nashville. I follow them on Instagram. They actually had Metal Night last night, which I like metal music, so I would have gone to that. In the video, they were playing Metallica, which was nice. But my music pick of the week is a band that I saw play at that venue. Small, little intimate place where like just everyone's together. There's a bar and a stage and basically just an open cement dance floor. Also, like you can see the ventilation on the top, and just you feel generally unsafe by being there. But this band is called J. Roddy Walston and the Business. They're kind of indie rock people. It's one guy that plays the piano and sings, and then his band. Really, really good. Most energetic show I've ever seen. It was my second time seeing him. There's a concert series in Nashville on Thursdays, and it started 2 Thursdays ago. It's called Live on the Green. It's a free concert. I don't know if anyone knows who Portugal the Man is, but they're playing next week. And then St. Paul and the Broken Bones, who is they got really famous a couple years ago. They're known as being one of David Letterman's favorite bands. So they kind of got a little bit of shine from that. But basically, they came and played there. But I've seen J. Roddy Walston play at Live on the Green as well. So check them out. Let me know if you like them. I'm sure you will like them. It's hard not to. Their music's fun. You get your ass moving. Take a nice little lady, spin her around, give her a quick kiss as you're dipping her. We call that the fountain pen. Dip it, dunk it. And then you also have to, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling at this point. All right, Alex, you take care. Hashtag Drake. Yeah, I thought you would like that.
By the way, one quick thing. There's someone right now using a metal detector on the beach. How big of a fucking loser do you have to be to spend your entire day on the beach just walking back and forth, looking like, what do you think you're going to find in the sand?
How old is he? What's he look like?
He's probably like 50 or 60. I don't know. It's probably
perfect. Stop right there.
His wife forced him to come down to the beach.
Not so much a dork. He is the ultimate dad or husband. He's the ultimate husband. I swear to God, if I lived at the beach, if I lived at the shore for 3 hours a day, all you can do, all like what you can do is you pop some headphones in, you listen to some Amir Obey, some J Roddy, and you just go on the beach and you just beep beep. You find something in the sand and keep going. You get away from your wife. It is like free golf. Golf, you have to pay money to buy the clubs, and then you have to pay to be on the course, and then you're drinking beer on the cart. This guy probably has done so much heroin in his life that he like has a needle packed in one of his cargo shorts. Because let's be honest, if you're using a metal detector, you've either done A, heroin a bunch, or B, invested heavily in Wrangler cargo short and or pants. But yeah, 3 hours, all you're doing is just doing that. Your wife fucks off. She's probably at Marshall shopping or like bitching at something about drinking rosé or yelling at neighbors. Or if you're just a dad, you get away from them little shits while they're probably drowning in the ocean. So I love the move. I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect dad hack. Now I'm not a dad, so I could be blown or talking out of my ass, but many a forehead will be impregnated by now, I think. Kidding.
And our final sponsor,
right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Flying by. We got Ocean Drive, Sandbar, outside dining and bar from 12 p.m. 40th Street. Check it out. Thanks to Ocean Drive for sponsoring this segment of the podcast for free. We'll send you an invoice.
Yeah, we'll send the invoice over right now. Yeah, so thanks everyone for listening. As always, email us with your questions. We'll do a viewership pod later on, which is ironic because no one listens or cares about us. So, huh?
We got 4 views on our first episode.
I guarantee you 2 of those are from us, and the other 2 are from people just like randomly clicking around YouTube, and they're like, no. Next. Yeah. All right. You guys have a great weekend. Alex, anything?
Nothing from me. I'm a man of few words.
You heard it here first, folks. Take care.